So everybody's getting a kit. It's gonna have 2 pieces to bead around. It's gonna have a needle stuck in it, binding. Everybody gets 3 colors of beads and 2 hooks. Everybody's getting hooks for the kits, just to keep it all the same. You get some string and the backing. So I'm not gonna mess with that kit. You take some of your thread off your spool of thread that we rigged up here. You can use maybe an arm length full, about that. You take it and string it up onto your needle, and you're gonna tie a knot at the end. I usually like to tie a couple just to make sure it's not gonna come through the material. I notice a lot of people like to work with more beads and can pick up like 8 beads at a time. I just go with 4. It does take a little bit more time. Oh yeah, some of the kits have gems that have holes in them. They're all glued down, but if you have a kit that has a gem with holes in them, you're probably best to sew your gem down a couple times and secure it on the top and bottom like this. But not all of them are like that. Some of them are just glued and there'll be no hole to sew. But I always do this if the hole is there. So, with what you really want to do is get close to your gem. You don't want to touch it because you want to consider in the space between the hole and the edge of your bead. And if you get too close, you'll get kind of like a train wreck of beads that are kind of sideways and all kinds of good stuff. So I pick up 4, and I came from the back side to the front side, so I'm coming out right beside my gem. I push my beads back. They're all in place where I want them. I'm going to shove them back a little bit. Everything looks good. And what I like to do is my string is showing me right where I want to go in. So I'm going to go in right where my string is. I'm not too close to the gem. I'm not too far away. And if you pull it and everything looks great, then you pull your beads back away. Loosen your string up. And you come from the bottom to the top again. Same distance away from your gem and right between in the middle of your entrance and exit spot. So you're going to give it a pull, and you should be right in the middle of your 4 beads. And I go through the 2 going in the direction that I'm going. So once you got that, you can just give it a little back and forth tug. You don't want to really pull it hard because the stuff could get flimsy, and you could like make your material wrinkly, and you don't really want that either. So I pick up another 4. And it's good that I'm going around this little bend because I know we kind of get to an edge and we're like, okay, what do we do now? But just line it up how you regularly would. Get it all in place where you want it. Everything's nice and even. Go from the top to the bottom, close to your gem but not touching. So when I pull this, it's kind of going over my gem a little bit. But we're going to pull those 4 away. We're going to go from the top to the bottom. Give it a pull, and we're going to be into the middle of our 4 beads. Now for this first row, you can do, there is really no sample on how to design your beads. So your first row can be a solid color. It can be like black, white, red, purple. Or if you want to get fancy, you can do 1-3, 1-3 combos all the way around. And then your next row, you'll stack them up like pyramids, so it'll be a different number. But when you start to go around, and by the time you're on your 3rd row, it'll be a pyramid of 3 at the bottom. So if you want to incorporate a little design in yours, I'm going to do a couple little pyramid stacks so that you can see. And also too, Pinterest and Instagram is a really great place to go look at designs. Most of the work is done in rows like this, so they're just rows stacked around rows, and there's some really good ideas out there, and like really original ideas and stuff if you really want to make something different. So I put one of the beige on and 3 white. Now I'm just going to do a couple around the bottom here so that we can make a little pyramid. So But I do like doing alternate colors for the first row. Makes it fun. And I know a lot of people too like to work with double string. I'm positive I put enough string in your kits. If you're going to use double string, you go right ahead. I'm not opposed to anybody's ways of doing things. As long as your beads are down and you can cut them off after and beads aren't going to fall off, I think that's fine. So we have a little tiny space left here. The 4 beads are not going to fit. And if you don't really know what to do, you can pick up a couple really like thin beads, or you can pick up a couple thicker beads if it's a bigger spot to fill it in so that you're not getting that overfilled look. So there's one row around, and I'm going to come back down here from the bottom to the top, same distance apart from your gem, and I'm going to start building one of those little pyramids. So there is really no set way or place to come out. A lot of times I just eyeball it. So I think that would need another beige before I start with the white, the next stack of white. So I'll put four beige on. Go through the 2. Now I'm going to start my little pyramid stack here. Go in at the end. And as you can see, the 2 is stacked on top of the 3, and I'll do it again for this next one. So 2 white this time. Line them up and secure them down. And instead of going all the way around, I'll stop here and we'll start here again so I can put the little top on it. I think I need a couple more beige beads out. So 1 white, 3 beige. And I'm going to stop here, and usually we continue all the way around back to here, but being I'm doing a sample, I don't want you to sit here and watch me put a whole bunch of beige beads on and get back to the design. So I'll start back on this side. Nice and close, but not too close. Oops, 1 white. To continue our, finish off our little stack that we got going. So your last one will go on the top and push it back a little bit there. And that's a great way to put a little bit of design in it too. And two, if you got 4 beads on and there's space for 1 more bead, you go right ahead and throw that 1 more bead on there, and instead of continuing on the securing the 4 and putting 1 bead on by itself, you go right ahead and put that 5th bead on and continue on. So you see I got a couple little stacks of beads going there. And for ending off, I'm gonna end off on this side. I like to go underneath my string. This is my way to get it really close to your, to get it kind of flush. I hold my string like this, I kind of make like a little Y, and I'll put my thumb on the string, so when I pull it, it's going to be completely on there. There's going to be no space, no string between my material and my knot. And that's one of my pet peeves. Cut it off, and for starting again, you're just going to put your needle on a new string, tie your knot a couple times, and you're just going to come up. You can go back into 2 beads and go through them the way you were going, and you just keep continuing on. I'll finish this little pattern off I got going here. Alright, one more white. Play and give it a pull through the 2. So like I said, you would be going all the way around at the top, but I'm not going all the way around just for the sake of showing you the design. So for ending, you come to the other side, give it a couple knots.